right, so I believe we will go ahead and get started. So I would like to thank everybody for being on the call tonight for a Variegate Networking AMA tonight. As you see, we do have DFS Mafia in the house. So, to you guys, Dan, Chris, thanks for being on the call tonight, and then everybody else that's on. Appreciate you guys joining us. As always, please do not take this as financial advice. Do your own research, and we do have this being just a quick update on Variegate. We've done a lot of work behind the scenes in terms of digital media. So we do have the new link to our link tree on Twitter. That'll take you to various different sources of media that we've been posting. So really, anywhere you get your media, your podcast, whether if it's YouTube, whether if it's Spotify, Amazon Music, any AMA that we host on here are getting posted to those. And we've actually, even though we just started in the last week or two, we're getting some good plays on those. So again, at Variegate, we like to own the bear market, share great projects and the things that they are accomplishing. And it's going to make it even more so. And we got some other things planned in the background as well, but more to come there. But again, thanks to DFS Mafia for being on the call tonight. Before we get started, I do want to say thanks to our 6 rewards for the month of August. We've been doing 5, but we did move to 6 for this month. We do have Clearwater on Sunday, Rocket Eye on Mondays, Affinity on Tuesday, Block Blend, which has had a good couple of days. Had them today on Wednesdays. And we do have DFS Mafia moving into that Thursday slot. And we'll get into a little bit of that here maybe towards the end of the call. But would like to welcome them into our Thursday slot. So excited to get some rewards. Actually, right as this AMA started, the contract switched over to DFS Mafia for rewards because it's on UTC time. So, excited for folks to get those rewards. And again, at Variegate, we provide new holders. So we want to provide volume and definitely a good partnership. And we've had a great partnership with DFS Mafia so far. And then we do have DKYC in the 2-day spot for Fridays and Saturdays. So again, I am Josh, KY Hodl on Telegram. Would like to say welcome to everybody. We do have Matt on the call as well. We do have Mike repping Variegate. Robbie's on the call. He won't be on the night, but to have DFS Mafia on. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, speaking of, I was going to say, too, to kind of coincide with the DFS Mafia being added now to our current rewards. They're actually up. I'm sure some of you guys already know, but up in our current rewards poll, which is on Reddit, Discord, Telegram, as well as on Twitter. Right now, you're up against your buddies there, Nobility, DKYC, and Doken. Just keep in mind, too, any votes you cast through any of those different avenues will all count. If you vote on Twitter and you're a follower of Variegate, will count twice if you retweet and comment DFS Mafia down below. So just keep that in mind if you want to boost up your voting potential.
I do want to, real quick before we jump into the AMA, I do want to give a quick shout out to our team. Man, our founders really killed it this week getting those podcasts up. For 1 week's worth of work, getting an entire YouTube, Amazon, Spotify, all those things set up, it was quite a feat to watch them do. So just want to say good job.
Yeah, for sure. So make sure you do get your votes in. Again, those 4 platforms: Twitter, Discord, Reddit, and on which one am I missing? And Twitter. Yeah. So obviously can't forget Twitter that we're on. So yeah, I know it's been a busy couple of days for you guys. We want to touch base and get a quick update. Again, it's August 10th. For those that are listening after the call or listening a few days later, crypto's actually had a good couple of days. BNB floating around 230 or so. Good week or so. So again, make sure you do get your vote in for DFS Mafia to determine September rewards and find that poll on those 4 platforms. Before we get into updates from DFS Mafia and Dan, we'd like to bring a special guest on that wants to share a quick message about fantasy football this fall and what we typically may end up seeing. So, Funny Donald, how you doing?
Well, as you can tell, I've had a very bad week. Hugely bad, tremendously bad. And I'm just going to briefly talk about it. Okay, the FBI, they raided my home and they stole my two most favorite possessions in a particular wallet that I've got. They stole my Variegate and they stole my DFS Mafia. And look, I've been holding it in. I've been holding it in very strongly because I'm very masculine, very tough, very tough. As my late papa would have said, yo, for shizzle, you doing this real, yo. And those words have stuck with me for my entire 70 years of existence. And I just want to say I'm horribly sad. So I'm so glad that you're reflecting in the DFS Mafia. And I'm also hugely glad that you're beating them at fantasy football. Okay, let's not kid ourselves. You're doing fantastic. You're killing them, and it's terrific. Okay, now DFS Mafia, you got to get your stuff in gear. And I say stuff because some people don't like words that sound like poop. Okay, so I'm just saying get your stuff in gear because Variegate, they're doing terrific with the fantasy football. I love football. I love anything that involves pigskin. So that's what I wanted to say. And you're all fantastic.
Appreciate that, Donald, and hope everything goes well with the raid this week. Hopefully, they don't find anything that they shouldn't. I wouldn't suspect that they would, but you never know what they'll plan in homes nowadays. So,
Well, I'm
appreciate
also usually upset because they stole my favorite kind of candy. I love the Haribo gummies that are in the shape of coddles, and they got the taste of Coke in them. What kind of sick person takes another person's gummy Coke bottles, those sons of biscuits?
Yeah, I don't know, man, but Donald, appreciate that message, and DFS, watch out, fantasy football on the way. You heard the Don, we're coming, so we're ready for you this fall. Donald, again, good luck. Thanks for being on, and man, I hope everything works out for you this week.
Well, I usually appreciate it. I got to set up some coins into my liquidity pool if you get my drift.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you there. Hey, thanks for coming on, Donald.
You're so welcome.
So Dan, I know the Don. He wanted to give a quick message, so I figured I'd let him come on the call here.
Oh, that was great.
Well, yeah, man. Let's get into some DFS Mafia updates. I know you guys have been busy. Got several things noted here. Let's get into the spoke kind of give us some updates. What's going on around that, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. So I mean, we, like you said, we got a million things that are going on. We announced just recently that our soft launch for our DFS platform is August 20th. So we'll be probably allowing in about 100 people or so to actually test the site with live fiat, play real contests, win real money. And any money they win is real. Use crypto and, or use our DFSM token to enter contests and take a chance at winning extra on that. So fully operational. NFT marketplace will be live and built into it. We're working on our ramp integration. Ramp, I guess, had some kind of downtime recently, so we're just waiting on them to fix their bugs. But it's been crazy. I mean, we between the soft launch, we just recently dissolved our New York LLC and formed a corporation out of Delaware, which our legal team that we hired really advised on that. One, for just corporate structure, it gives us a lot of ammo to do different things. Like we can now hire a team that are dedicated to what we're doing and pay them with sweat equity and actually give them equity shares in the company if they're interested in that. Along with the fact that just licensing is much easier out of Delaware and a lot of things we're doing. So we're officially a corporation out of Delaware instead of an LLC out of New York. That's huge for us. We got our final letter of opinion from the attorneys, and it's just been one thing after another. But we're excited. It's a long, it feels like forever that we've been working on this, but at the same time, we're ahead of our game plan. Our map, we want to be live before football season officially started, and here we are. I mean, we could have sped it up, but we want to make sure that we're launched with everything working properly.
Yeah, that's awesome. And get into that a little bit for those that may not know a whole lot about it. So you'll be able to basically use crypto and cash, and then how will that tie into your NFT platform?
Yeah, so with the contest itself, you can either play with DFSM tokens, where you enter with DFSM, you're paid out in DFSM if you win, or standard fiat, where you just connect to PayPal and use a debit, credit card, or PayPal account and deposit funds, just like you would on like FanDuel, DraftKings, etc. So we want to make sure we appeal to both the fantasy sports world as well as the standard crypto space as well. So pretty neat, in doing that. And then the NFT marketplace is our own marketplace. We basically set up where people can mint the NFTs right on our marketplace. We collect all the fees from it. And, it's another part of the revenue source that's going into, the rewards we kick back to our holders. So for those who don't know, we're giving 10% of the profits from the platform, which includes merchandise. We just launched our merchandise as well. NFT marketplace, the actual contest revenue. All of that is contributed towards our profits, and we're taking 10% of the profits and giving it back to token holders who have 100 million or more tokens. So be paid out in BUSD rewards. And then, on top of that, speaking of BUSD, we are doing a V2 contract towards the end of this quarter, early fourth quarter, where we'll be switching over to BUSD as well. So just basically using the platform as a volume generator.
And then do you have so that's actually, so that's your soft launch that's coming in 10 days, right? Is that actually the NFT platform?
Oh yeah, that'll be everything. So the NFT platform will be built into the actual market, or the to the DFS platform. So that's one big thing we want to make sure of, is that we're really integrating crypto to the best possible extent we can. It's going to be a standard, fantasy sports platform, but with some crypto blockchain integration. So you'll have the DFSM contest, the on-ramp capability to purchase DFSM, which this will give us capabilities later to accept other tokens, whether we want to go to, BTC, Ethereum, etc. But at the same time, you'll have the NFT marketplace as well built into it, so people can go on, buy NFTs. We're working with a couple NFT artists right now as well.
And were you at the Buffalo Bills game trying to drum up some deals, or just to watch the other night?
Yeah, so it's been public knowledge now, but yeah, we've been actually talking to the Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo Sabres about potentially doing a deal. The price tags hefty to partner with the NFL and NHL, and we're just waiting on a final word from both of them to get approval. But I think at this point, just with how late we are into the season's already starting with the NFL, we'll probably, as long as the NFL signs off on it, probably do a deal next year. But they liked what they heard. I mean, if we partner with them, it would be, we're the official DFS platform of the Buffalo Bills. They're partnered with FanDuel, but only on the sportsbook side of things. So they have different categories that you can partner with. And fantasy sports and crypto, it carries a pretty hefty price tag, but it's something that we're willing to do.
Yeah, man, I think that would be a game changer. I don't know if there's any other. Well, obviously, I think you guys are, the first in doing some of the things that you guys are doing, but really just crypto in general, to have that, partnership like that with the sports team. I'm not aware of any other project that's really made something like that happen.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like, I've always been a very optimistic person, and I'm an entrepreneur, but to go from, December 15th launching a token with an idea that I've been brainstorming for 9 months prior, to having conversations with the people I have on a daily basis and talking to, the representatives of Pagula Sports and Entertainment about partnering with the Bills and Sabres. I think that's just mind-boggling. I mean, it's awesome to see how far we've come, and then, all our hard work's about to pay off with the platform launching, and be able to put, a real utility behind this token that's not relying on the crypto space too.
So with the soft launch, will you guys actually have, I know you said we're working with a couple of artists, actually have some NFTs on there available at that launch, or is it more so just getting the platform up and going and then kind of releasing some of the NFTs at a later date?
No, actually, I plan on having a few NFTs up there. There's one person in particular we're working with that is working on some really cool NFTs. They're like 3-dimensional, MP4 file type NFTs of our different athletes. So he's made one of Forrest Griffin already, and I've talked to Demarius Randall, one of our NFL players, and Mo Spates about doing special collections where they're just essentially they're one of ones where we can create one of a special moment of their careers, post it, and it'll attract a lot more athletes on the road too, where we're going to give them a cut of the revenue from it. But it's not something where it's like, oh, this is one of 10,000. These are going to be one of one special NFTs of moments from these athletes, and we'll have utility built behind a lot of them. Like we have the Don NFT that gives a lot of special privileges. Like you'll have coupon codes essentially where you can get a free contest once a week, discounts on merchandise, things like that. But no, we plan to have some NFTs live at launch.
Yeah, that'll be exciting to see. So how you'll have them designed, will he almost be in a live trading card type of deal? So will you have information there, or will it be just kind of like a video of that actual play? How do you plan on having those NFTs looking?
The ones that we're working on currently are stationary but 3-dimensional shaped NFTs. So kind of more like trading card almost style, but like 3-dimensional. And but we're making sure that the file or the marketplace accepts certain type of files so that we can do audio and video abilities as well. So we want to do an NFT of a Mo Spates slam dunk or something like that, or a special moment from Demarius Randall, like a pick off of Aaron Rodgers, things like that. We're going to be able to do those and turn those into NFTs.
Yeah, I think once you get to the point where you've got numerous users using the platform, and then some of these athletes start to see some profits coming in and see how cool the NFTs look, and you've got players making these big plays that's stored on the blockchain forever, and people are trading and they're still getting a 10% cut or whatever that could being. You're kind of going to open up the floodgates at that point. You should see more and more athletes start to hop on. And I see Mike is unmuting there. One more question before kind of Mike kind of gets into. Have you, with NIL now, have you been able to reach out to any college athletes yet? Because I definitely could see a market there as well, and kind of get to them before someone else does.
Yeah, so we actually had partnered with a collegiate athlete, Connor Davis. He was a D1 baseball player, and the NCAA started breathing down his neck. So we actually had to part ways, and take down the stuff with him, just because for whatever reason they were still getting on their case about certain affiliations, like if you're partnering with crypto and whatnot. But he just finished off his senior year. So we've been talking again about doing something. He's got an offer from an MLB team, but he's also considering getting into some other business ventures. So NCAA, they're still being pretty stingent on what they like. The rules relaxed, and they allow the players to make money off their name. There's still restrictions that they apply on these guys.
I could actually speak a little more on this too, because my son is actually a D1 college athlete who's been recruited pretty heavy, and it's NCAA 100% spells out that any type of, whether it's sports apps, sports book, fantasy sports, anything like that, right, they do not support it. They don't want players signing deals. So, but I have quite a few that have transitioned into the NFL and the NBA that my son works out with personally that are showing some interest. So we haven't announced new athletes yet, all strategically. We were heavy on it early on to solidify our vision and what our plans are. We haven't scratched the surface yet when it comes to this marketplace and NFT marketplace and everything else that we're going to be doing. You're just seeing a small scope of what our full capabilities are going to be. So
yeah, I'll piggyback off that real quick too. So Chris is sneakily hinting at some of the things that we're working on.
Yeah, it really was.
The athlete partnerships, there's a lot going on behind that. It's not just, oh, hey, represent us and put out a good word and we'll do some NFTs of you. There's much more that we're building in. Actually, Operation Tailgate, which some people are curious to know what that is. It will partially involve the athletes and some of our plans for them. But bottom line, we're really building a completely different and unique experience to fantasy sports. Like, my vision is making fantasy sports even more exciting than it already is. I mean, it's one thing, and what got me into fantasy sports was sitting here, watching a football game or watching a basketball game, and I'm a huge sports fanatic, and then also kind of wagering money on it, or setting up lineups and trying to create the best team out of it and win money that night. It gets addicting. Well, that's make it even more addicting, and that's what we're working on.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting, and people are kind of like missing the overall like big picture of you guys. Is you're in something that already exists, fantasy sports, but you're innovating it in a way in a field like crypto, where crypto is still in its infancy, even though obviously it's been around for 10 plus years. But it's just the fact that you have all these people that are still not into it, and you have the people that are into fantasy sports. So obviously when you're pulling those two together, and you're going to be at the ground level of it and getting in first, getting these contracts signed with the leagues, getting them signed with players, like, you're going to be the person that owns that, if that's the case. And so the innovation comes as you go along. And obviously I think people are missing another thing too. Let's say you guys get this contract. Let's say you have a sign up at the Bills Orchard Park or whatever, right? Or whatever it's called now. I'm sure it's Orchard Park, but you're going to have a sign up in the stadium, right? Let's get something. There are only football games that occur at stadiums. So every time you have an event, you're looking at 60,000 plus people that are going to have eyes on those advertisements, those billboards, like whatever it may be. So I think with your market cap being what it is right now, it is kind of laughable at this point. And obviously not financial advice to buy, but I think maybe you want to get into the other part too, where if you own 100 million, obviously DFS tokens, like what that involves too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit the head or the nail right on the head. I mean, the partnership aspect with the Bills, like I asked for kind of a list of different deliverables of what we would get in a partnership with them. And, one, it's huge enough for them to say to me, like, look, if you partner with us, you'll be able to put our name on everything that you put out there and say you're the official DFS platform, the Buffalo Bills. I mean, that speaks volumes to the fact that, we're 8 months old in 5 days, and we've already had those opportunities arise for us. But, there's big things that, I mean, we have so much always going on that I don't think people, like, you hit it perfectly, where I truly feel like we're so undervalued at this point. It is laughable that, where our cap's at, because I don't think people know how much we've got going on. The fact that, so initially, for those who don't know, we got a investment from a very, very large company. They're remaining anonymous because they're extremely wealthy. So until we become the next FanDuel, they'll probably stay in the shadows. But they invested on a gentleman's agreement. There was never even any, the paperwork signed or anything like this. It's just very much a mutual handshake. $300,000 investment into us to build the platform, to put out marketing, to just overall help build us. They're doing a lot behind the scenes of that, things that will, when it happens, you guys will know that somebody was behind it. But 300 grand right off the bat to help build this platform, and they saw our vision, they love what we're doing, and flat out, my first conversations with them were, look, if you guys told us, hey, we can do a quick pump, make it $500,000 or $1 million and get out, they'd be like, we have no interest in working with you. We're not in this for a short-term gain. We're in this to, we see this as, if you guys think you can become a $1 billion company, let's make it a $1 billion company. That was the thing. The other thing too, which we just announced on our AMA on Sunday, we just did another seed round where we just raised another about $200,000 in capital, which platform's built. Now it's all just expansion of the platform, expansion of our state licensing packages, just overall growth of our platform. So the fact that in 8 months, without going to any VC capital firms, we have zero debt, no loans taken out, we're able to raise $500,000 in capital without selling tokens or anything like that. I think that speaks volumes for what we're doing. So, and then to speak on what you're talking about, million tokens, I'm all about giving back to people, and I don't feel like it's fun if you get rich and everybody else is watching you get rich and not coming with you. What's the fun in that? So, one of the big visions was anybody who holds 100 million or more tokens will get that 10% allocation of the profits from the platform And we basically, it's a second way of reflections where we pay out BUSD rewards on it. So if we make $1 million a month or $10 million a month in revenue, just imagine what that could do down the road. So it's pretty cool what we're doing.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And then for the platform, is it initially going to be desktop only? And then if so, are there future plans for an app on iOS and Android?
So it is. Initially, it's going to be. There's no app. It's going to be web based, but it is mobile friendly. So you can pull it up on your phone. There's a mobile version. It's compatible with like iPads, desktops, etc. And then later on, we'll build it into an app for iOS and Android.
I got just if it's compatible like that, a user can just save it as a kind of a link, on their homepage, on their iPhone, iPad, etc., and then pretty much operates like an app. You click on it, and then as long as it's friendly, you really wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, honestly, I play FanDuel, and I'll still play FanDuel now because I look at, hey, if I could win the Sunday million, I'll put that $1 million right back in DFSM. But I play FanDuel religiously, and I don't even have. I couldn't even tell you if they have an app because I used it. I'm a web-based guy. Like I have it up because it's much easier to navigate web browsers. Like if I'm doing a stat analysis on players trying to figure out who's the best picks, it's much easier to do it on a web-based application than going back and forth between an app to web-based or a browser and back and forth. So that's kind of I did some research on it, and we thought rather than spend the extra money right off the bat to make an app out of it, let's just launch a web-based browser that's mobile compatible.
10 more days. Extremely exciting. Excited to see what that'll look like just in time. Got some fantasy sports coming up, so it'll be pretty much just in time for football season.
They're going to be crazy announcements along the way. Just know this past week, every night I was looking, it was like announcement tonight, announcement tomorrow. I mean, it's great. It's just hard to keep up with all these announcements you guys have going on.
Yeah, speaking of announcements, but we've got another one coming tomorrow night. We got an AMA, which is a good test to know that so far I'm winning this wager on me not getting kicked out of the AMA, but we got another AMA tomorrow night with Everrise, some pretty cool announcements with them. So, yeah, and then other big announcement that we've been talking about that we'll be actually getting together with you guys on about as well is we plan on kicking off a massive simultaneous marketing campaign. Between all the projects we've got 20 plus projects. We've got a bunch of major influencers that are invested into us and love what we're doing. Our athletes are on board, and then we've actually got some PR campaigns we're pushing. So that's really where it's going to kick off. And then our investors are actually working on some pretty big things to go to some people that can flex their muscles and put the word out there for us. So exciting times ahead of us, and that's why we don't chart watch, because we know what we got coming.
Yeah, you don't have to watch a chart if your team has their head down. You've got a great utility and great things coming. Why watch a chart, right?
Yep, exactly.
So I know you just released some merch as well. If you kind of want to give it a plug, where can you go to buy that merch? I saw you guys started off pretty good. Got into the 4 digits there and some merch sales. So if you wanted some DFS Mafia merch, where could you go to pick some up?
Yeah, so it's shop.dfs-mafia.com. I'll post it again on Twitter tonight too. But yeah, we had a lot of people that were super excited about us dropping the merchandise. We have a huge merchandising company and branding company that we're working with us, so makes us allowed to be able to ship it international and distribute it throughout the world. And then we'll actually be doing an eye contest coming up where one of the things we'll be giving away is free merchandise too. So it's always good to put the word out there and get some free advertising out of it too.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely might have to pick me up something for this season as well. And then whenever we play that week, I'll take some tape or something, put a big X over it or a big V or something.
We should do like a friendly bet. The winner of whoever beats Variegate has to wear our shirt.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, no, our t-shirts and our hoodies, I'll tell you right now, are super, super comfortable. They're my favorite. I'm actually wearing one of our T-shirts right now. It's a little hot right now for the hoodies, so I'm holding off on those.
Yeah, I definitely have to pick something up, and we'll put out a tweet for you guys tomorrow, and we'll definitely link that, share some news, and we'll make a post that we've got you guys as rewards, and put a little plug in there for that merch as well. Maybe we can see if we can get a few buys. I think there might be one coming from my end, anyways.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and I know first week, September 11th, for first week for NFL that Sunday, we're going to do a watch party with you guys. So it's going to be token versus token. I know Robbie has more information on that. He's been working with you guys to set that up, but hope to get a ton of other projects in on that as well. But we'll have a Google form set up, and then we'll do the spread for each of those games, and then see which token ends up having to give the other project some tokens to pass out. So that'll be fun. Again, that's September 11th. I've got a couple of promos out, but we'll continue to share and put a couple more out. But again, watch party, DFS Mafia, Variegate, September 11th. That'll be a good time just to sit back and maybe take some of the stuff that not necessarily maybe stresses us out, but takes up a lot of our time, and make a little fun, watch a little football, and that first Sunday is always a good day of the year.
Absolutely. Gotta say though, every time we set up initially, we're supposed to be going head to head in the Jake Paul fight. Every time you guys, which thank you for, you guys give us the option of who we're picking first, but unfortunately, each one that we've picked is not the one we actually want to win. It's just more of if I'm a betting man, I know who I'm betting on. So like we picked Jake Paul initially because I know everything's staged with him, but I don't want him to win. And now I got to root for my my nemesis with Tom Brady. You guys, even though I do dislike the Cowboys too, being a Bills fan and them beating us in the Super Bowl back in the 90s. I also hate the Cowboys, and half my family lives in Texas, but I still would much rather see the Cowboys beat Brady. So it's kind of it's a sticky situation. I'm rooting for the enemy.
Well, that'll be a fun Sunday night game. I know Brady has Julio now. I don't know how much of a difference. He'll make a difference if he's healthy. So that's just a fun element to add into the game. But I mean, the Cowboys wideouts are no joke. I mean, CD Lamb's are real. And then they have this new kid. I think he's out of TCU, but man, he's a speedster. He might be. Well, I need to stop talking before this draft. It's coming up. Got a couple of sleepers out there for a 20-team league. You kind of have to have some. Don't really have a choice. Don't want to give any intel what I'm thinking, but should be a fun game regardless. That Sunday night, I think it should be high scoring back and forth.
Yeah, I agree. I think it will be. I'll be curious to see who drafts Zeke Elliott. I think he loses his job this year.
They still have
Pollard.
Pollard. He was very productive when he was filling in there, so that's a great 1-2 punch. So definitely could go either way. I don't think they're going to really lose anything. It's almost like the situation in Cleveland with Hunt and Chubb. You never know which guy's going to get the 25-point weekend and the other guy gets the 7 or 8. It could go either way.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think either one of them is a decent pick in the late round, but if you pick them too early, I think it's going to be a bust, because if they are splitting the duties like they did last year, nobody's going to be worth their value.
Yeah, and I've never played a 20-team league, so it'll be interesting to see who's going in the late first, because that would typically be late second. So, and then it'll be interesting to see how people play quarterbacks as well, because you start seeing a couple of those fall off, and then you'll get some of that FOMO kicking in, and you might just see quarterback after quarterback.
Yep, exactly. Oh, it'll be interesting. You definitely have to dig deep into the rosters to find your sleepers.
I something funny. Last season, I did an 18-man league for the fire department, and I screwed up the scoring, and it ended up the kickers were getting the most points in the game. It was pretty funny, but for an 18-team league, it's definitely like you have to really nitpick through stuff, but then all of a sudden the kickers are scoring the most points.
See, what you do is you don't change the scoring this year. You make that unique to your league, and then you'll see kickers going in the second round, and the kickers will be the guys you're trying to pick up early. I think that'd actually be pretty funny. But yeah, we'll have the draft September 4th. That'll be a Sunday, Labor Day weekend there. We're going to do that at 2:00 Eastern. I know DFS Mafia has pick 15. We'll just be a couple of picks back at 19, and that'll be fun. Definitely look forward to that. Well, just like I said at the beginning, I'm excited with everything DFS Mafia has to bring to the table. You're mixing. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat mixing fantasy sports with DeFi. So it's awesome what you got. I mean, you've got NFTs that are mixed in there as well. You're partnering with athletes, and you've got Chris has you're kind of cheating a little bit having Chris on the team there. When you have a T1 athlete that's working out with some of these guys that are going pro, that's pretty nice. But you guys have an awesome idea. Got some cool things that you guys are running with. Definitely looking forward to the soft launch. So 10 more days. Be on the lookout. Pick up some merch as well. Also check out Variegate DApp, whatever you guys want to call it, VariegateToken.app. If you do have pending rewards, DFS Mafia is now currently a reward. So check that out if you want to pull some DFS Mafia. And again, that's pretty much all I have. If Matt or Mike or anyone has anything else, again, excited for what you guys have coming out. Looking forward to this fall. I know we're going to have the watch party and have the fantasy draft in the league, and so we're going to get to network a lot, and definitely excited to use the platform as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun seeing some new buys come in, obviously, for Variegate and triggering rewards for DFS Mafia and them gaining some new holders. And it'll be interesting to see how this ride goes.
Yeah, and I know if anybody from the crowd has a question, I see Arctic's on. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Doing well.
Question for Dan. I can't remember where I heard it or where it was hinted to.
Yes, I can beat you in ping pong.
No, nothing about ping pong on this call. Don't worry, I'll leave that for our private trash talk or on Telegram. But I can't remember where I heard it. But there was a hint that you might be setting up another feature on the platform where you can have tournament style, almost like a bracket, where it would be head to head, and then it could trickle down to a grand prize winner. Is that something that you guys are working on?
Yeah, so I'll give it away a little bit. I mean, so one of the nice things is the way our platform's set up is we can do head to head one-on-one contests where save $100 for an entry. Two guys put in $100, winner takes 180, we take $20 profit. So that was the first idea that kind of came up, but somebody that we're bringing in for future development gave me this idea of doing a bracket style fantasy sports contest where you can literally set up as a bracket, and each night you have two guys going at it. Winner of that that game go on to the next round, and we can have a massive prize pool. So I mean, initially right off the bat, we could structure it partially off platform where like, okay, these guys are going at it tonight, and just make sure that those two plug into the certain contest. But we actually, one of the things I plan on doing is building out an actual bracket style setup and layout on the platform, which I think would be pretty cool, is implementing a bracket style DFS daily contest that eliminate everybody down to the last one. That one person massive prize pool, I think would be pretty awesome, rather than having your single contests and one person wins the pot. You actually have it where you keep having the elimination process. So we've got a million ideas. There's a bunch of things we're going to come out with. I still have plans down the road to launch the salary style, like what FanDuel and DraftKings have. I know a lot of people like that. It's just the company you have to have behind you to manage all the salaries and the injuries and everything like that. There's a lot of work that goes into that, but that's the beginning of everything that we have planned.
That's awesome. And obviously I've been following your project for a while, but for those who haven't, I will say the DFS Mafia team has been it's refreshing because they've been so focused on getting the platform launched and functioning properly and fun and for user friendly, and not veering off into 100 different lanes where, because then things get delayed. But it's really refreshing that the team is beating all the timelines that they announced. So that's pretty cool. And as someone who holds a token, it's great because I know revenue's coming when you said it was coming. So and it didn't get delayed because you got sidetracked with something else. So kudos to the team, focus, and just can't wait for the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months to see where the project gets to. So really excited.
I appreciate that, Arctic. Yeah, and actually, I want to kind of speak on that too. You know, we have a lot that we have planned to do. I mean, like we acquired Nobility Sportsbook, and we plan on building a sportsbook, down the road, and we've got Operation Tailgate, which the one hint I'll always drop is that it is actually something that's being built into the platform. It's not a tailgating party or anything like that. I know some people initially thought. We've got a lot planned, but the one big thing that we always focused on was pick one big thing, and work at it until it's perfected, and then move on to the next thing. We don't want to spread ourselves too thin. We don't want to, put financials in too many places where all of a sudden we can't finish what we started. We're focused on the end game. So, we're pumped about it. And before I forget to, one other thing I just want to bring up is, on as long as everything goes smoothly on August 20th, not only are we having the soft launch, but we'll be having some athletes. We partnered up with Millions.co. They're a large marketing company. They got a bunch of athletes under their belt. A few of their athletes will be doing some watch party, to UFC 278. One of the guys we're targeting, no promises. We're seeing if he's available. Hopefully he's not going to the event himself, but is Henry Cejudo. Everybody knows, double champ, but or triple champ as he calls himself, Triple G. But we've got a few different athletes that'll be doing some watch parties and doing a marketing push for us as well on the 20th. So pretty excited.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool. I think what I've noticed from you guys is the same kind of mentality that we have. And I know that, I loved it from the get-go with the Affinity team, is to kind of not over-promise, under-deliver. It's kind of just stay under the radar, just do your thing, and then deliver obviously early with what you're offering up, deliver a better product than people were expecting. So I think you guys are nailing all those things right now, and definitely excited to see where the future takes you.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions that's out in the crowd?
So I have another thing to bring up too. I know Dan, in his humblest ways, always kind of doesn't go too much into detail, but with our sponsored contests and with our projects, like you just alluded to, we aligned ourselves with a lot of projects that literally they see things through the same lens as us, which we were all investors first. And we know what we've done is kind of scoped out the good things, the bad things, and we're trying to perfect the bad things to make sure that we deliver is as much as possible. So that's really where a lot of this has come from. Dan and myself and the rest of our team, we constantly brainstorm and say, okay, what's working, what's not working, what has worked here and there, and you could literally expect that. Our community is awesome. They give us a ton of feedback. Arctic is a prime example. Our contest, to create a contest, came from our community, and we love that. When we went to our developers and said, hey, we'd love to integrate this, and they were able to turn it around and say, within a week, they said we can do this. And then we looked at it even further and said, who's doing something like this? And we said, no one. Okay, this is perfect. It aligns with the innovation, and some of the best ideas literally come from users, and that leads into the user acquisition, and then to create a contest in our unique way of going after the user acquisition. It's all based on the experience, like Dan was saying. So just the whole ecosystem it's bigger than just crypto. It's bigger than fiat. It's the whole community, the vibe, and what we're going to be able to do with this. And there's again a hint in there of something very large that we're working on that's really going to bring this whole thing completely together when we could actually talk about it. There's one part that we are on an NDA that a company came to us and said, we're building this, and we want you guys are the perfect platform to be able to execute this on. What do you guys think? So just so many things like that that we never even, thought we would be able to do has aligned itself because we've locked arms with so great projects, people, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. You talk about the snowball effect, and it's just amazing. I'm humbled by it. I know Dan is humbled by it. We talk about it all the time. Our community sees it. We live it, breathe it, and we're going to keep doing what we need to do. We're going to deliver. We're not going to overpromise. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing and let our community and our work speak for itself and go from there. So we're excited. Thank you guys for hosting us. And, any questions, we're always ready to answer, even if it's offline. We don't need an AMA to answer questions. You put in the Telegram, and we're there ready to answer. So Dan does not sleep. He officially has proven it. He does not sleep. So I don't know how he does it, but so yeah, that's my 2 piece there.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, coming into your Telegram chats too, I see it's a very welcoming community, same as us over at Variegate. So I think really too in this environment with the bear market and everything, it really shows how important having those solid supporters and holders are to get you through this time, and obviously to let that development happen, and not just abandon you guys as devs and everything. So I think it's just great that we do have such great communities, and that's why I think we're all so like-minded and we get along so well in the whole Unite DeFi mentality. So thanks for hitting on that too.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, anybody else have any questions? All right. So again, I do want to say thanks to everybody that joined us tonight for another Variegate Networking AMA. Dan, Chris, thanks for hopping on tonight, providing some updates. Looking forward to the launch of your guys' platform here in 10 days. Looking forward to the networking that we're going to do this fall. Again, that Unite DeFi. You guys are definitely wonderful friends of ours, and looking forward to the products that you guys are going to release. And we're excited to have you guys as a current reward for the next 24, 23 or so hours. So again, if any of you guys have any pending rewards, feel free to go over to the variegatetoken.app, pull your rewards. If you're getting rewards such as our current rewards, Affinity, RocketFi, Block Blend, DKYC, Clearwater, and especially DFS Mafia, not financial advice, but definitely giving yourself a great chance at owning the bear market. Again, appreciate you guys being on tonight. Please join us tomorrow night for another AMA with Nobility. Same place, same time, 8 o'clock. So again, Chris, Dan, until we speak again, thanks for being on the night, and looking forward to the launch in 10 days.
Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Everybody have a great night.